How do you call a person who draws, tries to get better, but still feels a little lost? Oh well, I call it me. Hey everybody, I'm Christina and today I'm starting something new. I'm planning to make you part of a journey of a side hustler who has a full-time job and who has quite a limited amount of time to improve its drawing skills. No matter that I'm drawing for quite some time now, I still feel like there are a lot of gaps that I need to fill in, and it's gonna be a challenge, but I think it's gonna be a fun one. Let me start with the fact that I was in the late 20s when I decided that learning how to draw might actually help me with my professional path, because as a full-time job I am a web designer, so I thought that being a web designer is gonna be beneficial for me to learn how to draw. And no matter if you think that those two careers are interconnected, they are not. I usually don't use drawing in my daily job, and for now I consider drawing as a hobby / a side hustle. At first I started thinking about how I'm going to proceed with the skill that I want to learn. And the first thing that I thought was, okay, I'm going to learn from the professionals. I'm going to watch a lot of tutorials, and I started trying to replicate what the other artists are doing in order to realize how the things are happening. And I won't lie, it didn't work exactly as I thought it's gonna work, just because I skipped the very important part and I wanted to jump right into the fun, and I skipped the fundamentals. Back then I didn't feel like I need fundamentals and that I'm going to reverse engineer everything that people are doing just because I'm going to draw a lot. It really helps to a certain extent. And after that, in the recent months, I actually start thinking about foundations, about the boring part of drawing lines, shapes, perspectives, anatomy. With that being said, in my journey nowadays, I really want to bring you through where I am as a process, as a person who has to deal with full-time job, of course, sleeping, cooking, having social life, having personal life, cleaning, etc. And of course, learning how to draw in the middle of all that mess called life. One thing that I realize, and people are telling it over and over, but sometimes you need to realize something yourself, is that you don't need a talent to learn how to draw. It's more of a hard work and drawing every day for a lot of days. First thing is time management, which is the most important one, because we know the life goes on and everything just happens, and there are people around you care about and things that you have to deal with. So drawing has to somehow sneak in, find its time, and actually you make it a priority. Second thing, find the time and make it consistent. For example, if you decide to draw in the evenings or in the mornings or during your lunch break, for example, just find the time when you can actually sustain in a long term. Because today you may find the time after work, but tomorrow after work you may go to the gym or you may cook or whatever it might be. So that time it's not gonna work in a long term. You better find a time when you feel really confident that you might be free and spend that time drawing. It might be even a couple of minutes, it might be a half an hour. It's just way better to stick to the routine that you actually create. And the third thing is embrace the feeling of that page is blank and I don't know how to fill it in. Whenever you feel stuck or whatever you feel that you don't have any idea what to draw, you're not inspired, then you can focus on your hobbies outside of drawing. For example, you really like to cook. I have that example of a drawing that I did a long time ago, and it's really a crappy one, but still, it's a drawing of a recipe that I was obsessed during COVID. It was baking bread. That was a thing that I decided it might be a really interesting for me to combine those two hobbies, the drawing and the cooking. The other idea might be, if you, for example, like to go hiking, you may draw a map of your favorite hiking route. You can also draw a place where you've been. For example, I had an illustration which represents a trip that I made in 2021 in Germany. And don't rely on the fact that you don't know how to draw, because I actually started with the idea that I don't know how to draw. And no matter that it might actually add a lot of pressure on you, it at the same time liberate you from the expectation that you have to do your best here, you have to create something that's beautiful, that's really well polished, etc. Because you're a beginner, or you are a self-taught artist, or you are experimenting right now and you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to even be good. So let's imagine that we are free of expectations and start drawing, just drawing. And a bonus here is the thing that I've already mentioned, the foundations. The foundations is something that you are gonna need. So in the next video I'm planning to show you more about the foundations that I'm practicing now and what I'm trying to incorporate in my practice flow and practice routine lately. Are you familiar with the term beginner gap? I've read about it in a book of Lisa Congdon. The book is called Find Your Artistic Voice, and I will put the link to her book in the description below. In the book she basically said that whenever you decide to start drawing, you already consumed a lot of art. You have that visual library of information, so you decide to start drawing and you already have an idea of how the end result might look like, and the reality usually sucks. And this is where the beginner gap is coming from. The reality and the expectations that you have in your mind based on what you've already seen in the world around you from people who are far beyond in their drawing journey. And usually that beginner gap is something that makes people quit, and we don't want to quit. We want to become artists. I really believe that's possible. I see my progress whenever I see my first drawings, and I see my drawings today, although they are not perfect, they're far from perfect, I still see that it's a long way beyond what it was in the beginning. So no matter what your free time is, no matter where you are in your journey, I believe that it's possible to learn how to draw. It's not about talent. It's about drawing, hard work, consistency, show up, draw, and it's gonna happen. In the following videos, I'm planning to show you my sketchbooks, or at least showing you where I am now in my current creative journey. I'm going to share with you my practices nowadays, what I'm doing in my free time, and how I actually time manage that free time in order to have normal life, everything in one day, or at least most of the days. And I want to talk about a 100 days challenge that I'm currently doing. Basically, with that video, I'm making myself accountable to draw every day. And although I'm doing it pretty much now, I still believe that it's just another way of kind of pressuring myself to become better, because if I suck all the time and you're seeing me suck, you're gonna be like, okay, that's not good, I won't watch that. So yeah, I guess now the pressure is on. Okay. And I believe that if I don't show up, you're gonna care so much about me that you're gonna think that I didn't show up on time or I didn't show up at all, and you're gonna be pretty disappointed. So yeah, good to know. As I said, the pressure's on. Yeah. I really hope that you feel that you're not alone now. If you're part of that journey, if you're somewhere in between, you might be a complete beginner, you might be somewhere along the way, but you want to see how the other people tackle the same issues that you already had. So let's jump right into that journey together. See you soon.